Good morning, everybody. Another episode of the Keep Going podcast, athletes shining a light on mental health. Super excited. A soccer episode, which in our baseball world is hard to come by these days with the Keep Going podcast. David Mitchell, handsome as ever out there in Colorado. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's freezing here. I heard Colorado was like 80s and 90s the last couple of days.
Yeah, it was something for sure. I was
Yeah,
I
you
was
look
up
happy
on
and tan, by the way. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
yeah, I was up on the mountain yesterday with a t-shirt and shorts on. It's different weather for sure than usual.
I got leggings, two hoodies, and a jacket out of the game yesterday. I shout out Kaylin Jones in Oregon. I mean, very, very cool to watch her play yesterday. We'll have her on here in a couple months. But our preface today, we got Peter Pearson here, man. And as non-soccer guys, Dave, I'm looking forward to listening today because I don't know anything about this sport. Peter, it's good to have you, brother.
No, I appreciate y'all having me. Definitely looking forward to this conversation. And don't worry, I'll get you up to speed with soccer. So,
Yeah, we definitely rely on our people, man. We've had some big time players, some big time coaches on the soccer side. I
mm,
just try to learn. We've had some international representation as well on the men's and women's side. So you
mm,
fit in nice with our mold here, Peter. Talk
nice.
to me, man. You took time out of a Sunday morning to jump on with two people you've never met before. Why'd you do that?
No, definitely I've seen the work that y'all do. When we come into this space talking about mental health, I'm all on board, trying to kind of break down that wall for student athletes to realize, we're more than athletes, that our stories matter. So, I'm all for opening up and speaking about, whatever it may be when it comes to sports and this space we're in. So, yeah.
It's refreshing, man. You got a big time soccer background. You're obviously a D1 player. You've played some high level pro ball. What I want to touch on first is Endure and the mental health side. So, can you elaborate on that and the work that y'all are doing?
Yes, for sure. So, let's just say growing up, mental health was always a thing, but at the same time, we didn't know what it was called. You know, men, me being 30, growing up in a household that, is military, et cetera. So it was very hard, but we knew that we were very open of speaking up and out about our feelings and everything else. So I knew that was always going to be something after the game that I wanted to give back to the next generation just because, it's growing more. People are talking more, which is a good thing, So after I retired from pro soccer, it really was just like, I got to get into this space. And a friend of mine that I played pro soccer with and went to UVA with, won a national championship with, was my best friend. He put me in this, circle of indoor for athletes, and he said, "Pete, I know this is what you want to do, so try it out." So kind of was tough because I was still playing pro and didn't want one foot in and one foot out. So I kind of wanted to be immersed in the game while I'm in it before it's done. And as athletes, we kind of need to know what we need to do after we play, when the ball stops bouncing, kicking, whatever you want to call it. So kind of jumped into it and fell in love with it just because it's all about giving athletes a space, a platform for them to open up, kind of like what y'all are doing right now. I know it's in a podcast form and everything else, but using technology to meet where kids are at nowadays and kind of giving them that anonymous space for them to open up and really talk about the journey, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of being a student athlete and doing the workshops in person at universities and prep high schools and, giving them the game of what college sports is all about as well as after. So it's just a little bit of taste of what it is.
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful testimony, not only with yourself and your boys, but like what you're doing now at 30. I'm 31. Dave, what are you, 26 now? How old are you,
Yes,
Dave?
sir.
Yeah, so
26.
yeah, man,
Remember those days.
we have a nice we got a nice little room, and then Jackie's obviously in her 20s as well. I I'm kind of the resident old person, I guess, now that I realize that. Wow, damn. But Pete, as we go on, man, like you were a good ball player. Let's not skip past that. When did the ball start kicking for you? Like when did this become a I might be able to play college soccer thing?
Yeah, let's just say the ball started kicking. So I have two older brothers,
Nice. Shout
41.
them out.
Yeah,
Yep.
41, 37. I shouted out their ages before their names, but
Love that.
my brother Josh and John, they were soccer players, and you already know, being the young one, you always follow suit. You always kind of want to live up to what they're doing and wanting to compete with them, of course, being 10 years, 8 years, 7 years older, kind of wanted to, show them that I can hang around. So that's kind of where it all started at a young age, 3, 4 years old. And I guess I kind of knew, honestly, at a very young age that I wanted to do this at a high level. Probably people look at me crazy, 10 years old, a little bit younger, I wanted to play pro, but the game really started picking up around 12, and I knew that, I had something and could put it to the test. So kind of worked hard every single day and put my best foot forward for me to get to that step and stage in my
No, I love it, man. I love it. And give me your, hey, I'm gonna play high level soccer moment. Was there a moment where you had a hattie or you took a ball from a better player? Like, was there that snafu moment here? Yeah.
It's funny. Someone asked me that the other day, and I was like, I don't think there was a moment.
He said I was always balling. Don't get it twisted. I was always balling.
I think, where I grew up from, a rough neighborhood, but athletes, coming out of that neighborhood was kind of have to have that dog mentality of like, oh, this is what I want to do. Yes, injuries and everything come a part of it, but I kind of knew at a young age, just having older brothers and knew that I can hang with them. When I got to like 12, I hit growth spurt, like we all do, but looked like a man before I probably should have and could play with them. So I think at that age, I was like, oh, I can hang out with the 17-year-olds and play and kind of hold my own. So maybe let me stay with this for a while and see what I can do. So yeah.
No, that's a blessing, man. And I always talk about that too. And I'm a baseball guy. So I've trained baseball players and softball players out here in Chicago. And I always think playing up is so crucial, like playing against higher level competition. I know in soccer, I do a lot with the recruiting space as well. In soccer, if you're not playing in these big recruiting leagues and these tournaments and playing tougher competition, college coaches can't really evaluate you. Would you agree with that?
Yes, that is. I actually just came back from a tournament, Jeff Cup,
Yeah,
biggest.
Jeff Cup, my boy was out there. Shout out
Yeah.
Pat Bain. He just had his
Yeah.
kid. So Pat
Nice.
Bain's from the Virginia area, man. So shout him out while we're here. But go ahead.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so you're very right about that. Just to the fact that the game is changing so much, as you know, World Cup's about to be played here. So, it's just seen in a different light now. So you pretty much got to go where the best are for you to get the eyes on you the way you want it to, and for you to be able to show that you can hang with them. College is a high level sport, with soccer, and you got to put yourself in the best situation to allow you to develop and show your best in front of the best. So yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. And, being in the Virginia area, you're a legend, man. Like looking back at your college career and going on to play professionally, you mentioned very briefly, you're probably the only one ever to skip over a national championship the way that you did. Please talk about that, man. Get to the top of the mountain, brother. Talk about that.
Yeah, so you're right. I probably did skip.
No, but that's love though, because I love that because it means you're here for mental health. But I still
Oh,
want to talk about that area as well. Go ahead.
no, so that moment was a special one, being a freshman, being a part of a University of Virginia. Everybody knows that name, what it carries. And soccer there, 7 national championships, I believe they've won. And I was one of those that won one of them in 2014 as a freshman coming in. Um, you know, it definitely was. I will never say like, oh, we didn't deserve to win it, but March Madness is crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were number 16 coming in to the tournament. So people probably weren't thinking, oh, they're gonna win it all. But we just had a good group. We had a lot of seniors, I think about 11 of them. Majority of them played. I was 2 out of the 10 freshmen that played a little bit that year. Didn't play a lot, but like, as a freshman, you have a lot of seniors. You playing a little bit means a little, something. So it was a special moment to win that national championship, just to the fact that, you know, you don't, it's hard to win. It's hard to win something like that in NCAA. And that's something that I had to learn early. And I'm glad we had a chance to win that my freshman year and, try to do it after that, which was tough. It's hard to come back again, but had a good group. We beat UCLA in PKs, and it's just a special moment to just be a part of.
Yeah, let's stay on the PKs, man. Probably one of the most electrifying thing in sports.
Yeah.
And when it's World Cup time, we're under 100 days here. My team at NCSA on the soccer side, they won't let me forget. Hey, World Cup, get your kit, get your stuff ready. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But I'm
Yeah.
learning, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So talk about UCLA. You go to PKs, man. You remember that moment? Like, describe it from your perspective.
From my perspective, of course, was I was on the bench. We let our pretty much big dogs, seniors, as well as I think a junior, sophomore at the time, Riggs Lennon, who scored the game winner. Um,
Shout him out.
yeah,
Yep.
Riggs Lennon, I think he was from Phoenix, Arizona, but just double overtime, your legs are heavy, tired. Come to a moment like that, it's very electrifying because the stands was packed. It was around a tournament that the youth had in North Carolina, Cary, North Carolina, and all the youth was there watching our game. So packed stadium and just a moment that you're never really prepared for. You practice it, but when you're doing double overtime and legs are again heavy and tired, just kind of have to be the most composed that you can be to be able to step up to the plate and, produce. And that's what our team did. UCLA in that moment didn't. They hit the post, I think, twice.
Oh, tough.
So it was me just on the sideline supporting my guys. In that moment, that's all you can do. Support them the best way that you can. And, when we hit that final one, truly running on the field, of course, I think I was the first one to run out there. And
Yeah, that sounds about right.
shout
Yeah.
out, love to Riggs Lennon and finishing that. So it was a special moment again, for sure.
Yeah. And I didn't expect to go here, but we're going to stay here for a second. So you get to the top of the mountain, you get there where everybody wants to be, ring on your finger.
Yeah.
Virginia's no longer just a basketball school. Here are the boys on the field. How about what comes with that? There's a lot of stress, anxiety. Media wants to do more media. I
Yeah.
bet after you win a national championship, talk about the stuff that nobody talks about. Maybe the negatives and the overcompensating of stuff that goes with that. Yeah,
Yeah. I guess, you know, with a moment like that, you already know that you're missing a lot of school.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
You think of it with, March Madness for basketball. They're missing a lot of school. Of course, they have the advisors that are traveling with them and all those things. But, at the end of the day, you're thinking of ball. You're trying to win a natty, which is very rare to do. So, you got the pressures of which with just school in general, trying to be the best and making sure you're staying on top of what you got to stay on top of there. To the fact that, mentally, you still got to prepare yourself for the game, so you're out here doing tests and everything else before a game leading into it. So definitely is a tough moment just to the fact that there's a lot of media as well going on in the mix of it all. And just the anxiety, whatever, every athlete's different with it, but how are you handling those moments, just with a lot of, things around you in the hotel, stepping out, media, knowing that you're one of the two teams in the finals, so even the Final Four was pretty huge. I think it was UMBC, Providence, us, and UCLA, and just a lot of media coverage with that, with four teams. I think Final Four is a huge thing, that name, Final Four, and them doing a story around it and everything else. So definitely tough moments, but it's all about who's the one that's going to stay kind of even kill through all of it, which is hard to do at 18 years old, 19, 20, 21. Of course, the seniors are a little bit better at it just because they've been there for a while. So definitely something you had to learn, especially me being a freshman there, and just kind of, following the older guys, following suit and not getting too rattled with the moment, whether you're playing or not, but you're on the 18-man roster, so you got to stay cool and calm. So that's really what it is, man. A lot of emotions and everything flying around.
yeah. What a great segment and what a great just explanation of what these kids should be doing, man. Because it's never been tougher.
No,
If
it's
you're playing well, if you're playing crappy, it's never been tougher. And
yeah,
I've been seeing and I've been following these kids in March Madness. I don't know at 31 if I could have the PR skills that some of these kids have. So it's a beautiful thing. I
yeah.
want to go to your pro career next because looking at it, there were some ups, there were some downs. I also can't read soccer stats, so maybe you were the best ever and maybe you sucked. I don't know. So you got to elaborate on this, man. Tell me about your pro career, what you thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let me run it back a little bit. So I don't know if I mentioned I went to UVA for 3 years and transferred
Hmm.
to the fact.
Yep. You were a big transfer guy, man. That portal, I saw the link when I looked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, so I transferred at a time there wasn't a transfer portal, which was kind of even tougher.
Hmm.
transferred to VCU and ended up being the best decision of my life to get me to where I wanted to be, which was
Yeah.
pro soccer.
Professional soccer. Yeah.
And that was 2018, 2019, coming in to a new league, USO League One, which a lot of uncertainty, you not knowing what's going to happen. But, I had my ups and downs just to the fact that coming in, getting injured right away, and that's stuff that you really can't control. And that right there comes to the mental side of you being one of the big guys coming out of college or doing super well and signing. It's just like you come in thinking, I'm going to start right away just like in college. But
Of
sometimes,
course.
yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out as planned because of those things that you can't really control. So definitely had the Rocky in the very beginning, but then just kind of stayed with it. That's all you can do. I wanted to play for a long time, and I have to, make sure mentally I'm in the right place for me to be able to keep moving forward every year.
Mhm.
And I did that, and luckily went to a good couple of teams that allowed me to flourish and be the person and player that I knew I was capable of being. With Open Roots, Greenville, NCFC, and going to Germany a little bit. But definitely, man, if I'm the one saying that it was all peaches and roses, that's a lie. It was not. And that's just a part of the journey. And some are built for it and some aren't. And, you figure it out real quick.
All right, so I read the stats okay. Like you don't have a statue, but you weren't terrible. You were just ups and downs, ebbs and flows of the whole thing. And I thought that was the case, dude. So I'm happy to hear that. Dave, I want to go to you, man. Peter, someone we do on here is the David Mitchell's mailbag, where he asks a bunch of questions. Dave is not just here to look pretty. People forget that sometimes. But Dave, all you, man. What questions you got for Pete?
Yeah, I think like just listening to your career and like what you've gone through, if someone is out there that may be going through a hard time or maybe just feeling a little alone or unsure where they are at right now in their life,
Yeah.
as myself being in my mid 20s, it's a hard time. There's a lot of things going on, people doing different things.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
Yeah. For sure, the advice that I would give is make sure you're talking to people, whether it's your friends, your family. Yes, I know it might not be easy to do so, but you figure out a lot about yourself in those moments when you're trying to have those honest, vulnerable conversations. And I'm very big on that because, I went through a time in my pro career where there was a lot of stuff going on during the COVID era and family having health issues, and I was trying to hold it all inside, and that is not healthy. And finally came to a friend that was my guy, still is my guy, and he allowed me to open up to him, and it truly just knocked down some doors that allowed me to get back to being me and how I could seek the help that I needed for that moment. So in these tough times, such just like you being in your mid 20s, it's tough. You're trying to figure out life. You're trying to make money. You're trying to do all these things and do it right before you want to have a family and everything else. But, there's a lot that comes with it. So if you're not talking about it, how can you be able to move forward in the right way? So I would say always open yourself up, talk, because when you do that, you end up networking, you end up opening doors for yourself by doing that with your story. So that's
Yeah.
big for me.
Yeah, that's huge. I think it's hard to do that sometimes, but people are here, man. Like people will listen to you. Just get it out. Even how hard it is to say it, get it out. I think that's good advice. I think I got time for one more question. Um, if you're a new student athlete playing collegiately, and maybe struggling with some confidence or struggling with like, pressure, overthinking, trying to be on the field, what advice would you give to that student athlete right now?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think I get the most. And I always tell young athletes to like find their community when they get into college because especially a freshman, I was about to say rookie, a freshman coming in, you're trying to figure it out quickly, but at the same time, like you're around it every single day. So talking to the seniors, talking to the juniors, the upperclassmen really are the ones that you got to lean on, but at the same time, find your community outside of your sport because you're literally, when you go home, you're usually living with your teammates. You're around it so much to where you got to get away from it so you can kind of, you know, regroup in a way, kind of unplug and regroup and be able to come back better to, show up the next day your best. So I always say find your community outside of your sport, but at the same time, speak to the upperclassmen and don't be afraid to because they were in your shoes not too long ago. And, that comes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that advice a lot. I gotta jump off. P, I'll let you finish the episode. Peter, dude, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and shining your light as you do. And always keep going. I'll see you guys
Amen,
later.
Dave. Love you, brother. We'll talk, brother. Now, what a good man. I'll shout out Dave now that he's gone. We actually brought him on as a co-host after his episode in season one. So
Gotcha.
it's like it's the organic like passion for this stuff is so great. And no, man, for you said you're 31, 30, 31?
Yeah, yeah.
Well spoken, man. And it's been impressive and it's been fun to just sit back and listen to you, talk to the youth, talk to the coaches that listen. The one thing I'm missing so far is why we do this is that keep going moment. You've probably heard it in our clips, you've probably heard it in other episodes we've done. Where's the keep going moment here? What was something that you got through that the normal man wouldn't?
Something I got through the normal man wouldn't. How did I keep going? Is that what you asked?
That would be it, man.
How did I keep going? Honestly, I think, of course, some people have faith that they go by.
Yeah.
Some people just listen to the universe, whatever it may be for whoever it is. I think I always was surrounding myself with good people.
Yeah.
Good people are sometimes hard to come by, but if you're not going to open yourself up, you will never find them. And those are the ones that get you through, that end up getting you to a point where you've always wanted to be. I ended up playing for national team, competed in World Cup qualifiers, Gold Cup, Nations League, which is a big deal. And I felt like I would have never done that if I didn't have the community that I had, which ended up opening me up to be the best that I could be, in this moment or in that moment. So that's the keep going moment, man. Surround yourself with good people. Don't be afraid. And, you never know what doors they might open for you, mentally or just an opportunity.
Yeah. Do me a favor. I love when guys and gals too, when they come on and they just talk about the people that have helped got them, get them there and the people that have been a huge part of your journey. Take 30 seconds, shout out as many people as you can.
Oh, shout out as many. Okay. So of course we got the whole family. If I
Yeah.
mom, dad, my brothers, just friends that I grew up with since day one, Josh, Curtis, Jackson, Alex, I can name a bunch, my whole soccer teams that I've been a part of. They've helped me get to this point as well because, they helped me shine and be the best that I could be on the field for me to be able to get here. And I hope I did the same for them, as well as my wife and my son right now, that have been through the journey. Trust me, it was hard for them because I could still be playing right now. At a high level, but I chose to, be closer to my family and see my little man who's 6 years old grow up and hopefully play the game. And if not, whatever it may be, I will support him in anything. So just so many, as well as the coaches that I had since U6 to all the way up until now. So many, many names, so I can't even say them all. But yeah,
Amazing, man. Last one, I'll get you out of here for the Sunday morning here.
good man.
When it comes to the game of soccer, obviously it's changed your life, it's changed your identity, it's amplified everything for
Yeah,
you. There's a young man or a young woman listening to this today, and they're trying to get to where you're at. They're trying to be the next Pete Pearson.
yeah,
What would you advise? What would you recommend? What would be one thing?
yeah. I guess, you gotta love what you do. For me, the love came at a very young age and stuck with me until today. Like it's still with me, and I feel like a lot of young ones, do it because they see it. It's all the hype and they want to get that hype. I was never really about the hype. I just knew that I was going to train super hard and put my best foot forward and, you know, not cheat the game. I guess you could say LeBron always
I
says.
love that. Don't cheat the game.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just show up every day and put the work in. That's the only way you're going to be able to move up, putting the work in. And if you don't, then you're going to learn very quickly that you're not meant for it. So for young ones, keep going, enjoy it. Don't lose that confidence in yourself, but sometimes it will waver a little bit. But you surrounding yourself around good people will allow you to keep it and keep moving forward. So I will say that for the young ones.
I don't know how I kind of piggyback that, man. I'm gonna cap it at that. I think it's a beautiful end to a beautiful episode today. We've done 175 of these now, man, and some of these, as you might imagine, I leave a little bit more impacted than others, and that's what it is. It's part of the business, part of what we do. This is one where I go into trainings today, and I feel like, I'm gonna tell my parents, you better listen to this one. Like
Yeah.
this was damn good, man. This was
uh,
damn good. Thank you for taking the time.
Yes, man. I love it. I appreciate what y'all do. And honestly, I know me being with Indoor and many other companies that are trying to, give back in many ways is the best way for us to try to help the next generation. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you for having
No,
me.
I'm in. No, I'm in on that. Let's stay connected. Let's stay collabed as time goes on. And there'll be a point probably during the World Cup where I say, well, I have no idea what's going on in the pitch. So I'm gonna reach out to Pete and see if he can give me a brief analysis, man. But in all seriousness, dude, great episode, great testimony, a great father, a
Uh,
great teammate, a great husband, somebody that if I'm a young athlete right now in any sport, run this shit back, man, and run it for the kids. So I love you, Pete. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you having me.
Keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Peace.